let's do the thing. I feel like I have to sneeze. Echo, office lights 100%. Will it be 100%? I have no idea. Will it be close to 100%? I also have no idea. Ooh, that's hot coffees. That's hot. That's super hot. Let's move this closer because I noticed this is always like super quiet. So hopefully having the microphone closer makes it a little bit louder. Actually, I need to adjust. Boom. Boom. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. What is going on, you guys? Happy Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whatever day of the week it is for you guys. Death, what's going on? Yo, what's up? Plumber, how you doing, my dude? Let's go! It's that time of the week. It is that time of the week. Bobby, ya boy, what's going on, dude? Mike, what's poppin'? Tyler, what's going on, dude? How was my night? Not too bad. I just got done repackaging the EG33. It ships back out to Outfront tomorrow. So I made a pallet today, a very small pallet. It's in a box on a pallet, and then there's like super thick cardboard between the pallet and the box, and then in the box there's more cardboard. There's like memory foam, packing paper, bubble wrap. It's saran wrapped. The motor is saran wrapped with bubble wrap, and it's like super. There's ratchet straps. That thing is not getting damaged again. I sure as hell made sure of that, but it's going, you guys. Hey bro, I bought Cobb Flex Fuel Kit and AEM 340. That's what's up, Kevin. Get that E85, my friend. Bort Forts, what is going on, dude? How are we today? Pretty good. Did not do too much stuff today. I think all I did was build a pallet and package the EG33. Got the new power steering, the Chase Base stuff for the 05 STI. Tomorrow we have to go drop off valves at the machine shop just so they can regrind all of the valve seats. So I'm assuming the heads will either be done tomorrow afternoon or Thursday. One of the days the heads will be done. And then we can go get it. Also, Plumber, appreciate the dono, dude. I don't know why we're crying. I don't know why the sad emoji is happening. But I appreciate the dono, my friend. Hopefully everything's like good. Hopefully everything's solid. What are the cons of the parent rotated kit, bro? LMAO, I need to know. Personally, not a huge fan of parent products if you're really looking at going rotated. I think all they really give you is a down pipe and up pipe and some bracketry. If it were me going rotated, I would go with like ETS or some other brand out there. Just not a huge fan of parent. Aside from that, I mean, the cost on their kit really isn't too bad, but you're also limited to what turbo you can run because I think that kit is specifically made for a certain turbo. And geez, it is hot in here. I'm about to open that window right there. I am getting M-tuned again for flex. That's what's up. Get that E85, Kevin. Be the E85. Just don't like be the E85. You know what I'm saying. Josh, what's going on, dude? Can I sue my mechanic for damaging timing components and cutting a fuel line? Any advice? What do you mean? What do you mean by this? We need more information regarding the situation because that seems a little bit vague there. But hello, my friend. Yes, hello, Kevin. Where's your WRX? I don't have a W. I have two STIs. I have the 17 STI and the 05 STI. The 05 STI, we're waiting for the heads to come back, so that way we can reassemble that long block, get it back in the car, get that car back on the road. The 17 STI, as you guys saw, the EG33 goes back to Outfront tomorrow, so that way they can replace the case half, so that way we don't have a damaged case half, and then once that new one comes back, then we can start assembling that long block, getting it thrown in the car, and be like ready to go to start fabricating, doing a lot of fun stuff like that. So, it'll be exciting stuff. Here I am! What is going on, Callum? Guy with the STI. What up, dude? What up? Am I going to make custom manifolds for the 17 STI swap? I mean, I'm not going to because I don't know how to fabricate and weld. No, I don't know how to weld that well either. Let me specify that. But yeah, everything's going to be custom manifolds, custom intake manifolds, custom intercooler, custom absolutely everything because there are no drop-in kits for that car or for that swap. Also, Plumber, appreciate the other $1.49, man. With the hot dog. Coming in smooth with the hot dog. Coming in, whipping it around. I'm all about it. Brandon, what's up? What's up, dude? What's up? I missed the WRX. Which WRX? Which WRX, Brent? Which one? What? They'll both be back. I just don't know when. Wolf, what up, dude? Infamous Media, what up? Fox, another Media stream. Let's go. That's what I'm saying. It is Tuesday night. I think I was a couple minutes late, but we're streaming. We're out here. We're kicking it. Got first in stock rear-wheel drive at Rallycross. Congrats, Doug. Would have been second in stock all-wheel drive. Get Mittens ready and go. Mittens is not my car, and I do not have the funds to get Mittens running. That is Matt's car. There are plans to get Mittens running hopefully sometime this year, but Mittens will make a return. Tom, what up, dude? Would you buy a car from an online source like Auto Tempest or TrueCar? I mean, are you physically seeing the car before you purchase it, or is it like everything is like sight unseen? I gotta crack a window. It's like 1,000 degrees in here. Ugh. I mean, if you're buying it sight unseen, obviously you want to get like as many test results as you can on like the overall health of the car. What is the car also? Just kind of navigate any potential issues with it. I've personally never only bought a car online. I think the closest I've come to that is driving. I put a deposit on a car when I lived in Louisiana, drove up to Missouri to go buy it, and I was fully committed on picking up the car. So I mean, that's about the closest I've done to it. But I mean, I've never really just bought a car straight from online. I don't know how much I trust that. Sup, have you considered twin turbos on the flat 6? Yes, and there's definitely not enough room in that engine bay to accommodate that setup. Am I running dual fuel pumps? Yes, so the good thing about doing this engine swap in the 2017 STI is there are some drop-in fuel kits for it, so we are going to be, where it's already installed in the car and wired up. The Radium dual fuel pump setup, there are right now 2 Wall Bureau 450s in that car, which should be able to supply enough power for a while. If we get to the point where we need more fuel, we'll probably swap to a fuel cell, surge tank, the whole setup, the whole kit caboodle, and go from there. But right now, yes, we do have dual fuel pumps. That should be plenty for what we are doing right now. Nikolai, I believe I got that one right. Hey, what's going on, my friend? What's going on, dude? Jeremy is the man out front. Glad they're working with you. For real, Jeremy's super cool, dude. I've been talking to Jeremy a lot about the whole situation with the damaged engine, and as we were going through and building everything. Super cool, dude. Super cool shop. I mean, honestly, if you guys are looking for like a really good like custom built short block, out front is a really good shop to go through. In the future, whenever it comes for me to have other short blocks built, I will probably be going through out front again. Just this one shipping issue shouldn't make you not want to go with a certain company. It's already been resolved. It's being resolved right now, so there's nothing I'm not worried about. I'm not stressed about it. What would be my opinion on injectors for an FP Black with Cobb flex fuel and still be dailyable 1300, 1700, 2000? I mean, that really comes down to how much power you're going to be making with the car. Keep in mind the flex fuel is going to need bigger injectors because it is flowing a lot more fuel. So, I mean, obviously, 1300s will get you by for the most part for a while. I mean, even on 1050s, E85 on an FP Blue, I made 401 with that setup. If you're really looking to push the boundaries with the FP Black, with E85, I would probably play it safe and get at minimum the 1700s and go from there. And there's so many sirens. It's hot in here. It's cold outside. There's sirens everywhere. Nothing is cooperating tonight. Have you thought on the odds of a Cobb actually getting my turbo inlet soon? It said it was on back. Whenever it comes to anything on back order with companies and manufacturers, don't fully trust the initial time that they give you guys for potential ship dates. It's going to continuously change based off when they can get materials, when they can get manufacturing done. Honestly, it would be up in the air. If you're in a rush for it, I would cancel the order. I would find someone who has one in stock or find someone who has a comparable replacement for that turbo inlet. Hey, or did you say turbo? Or was it turbo or turbo? Regardless, whether it's a turbo inlet or a turbo, if you're in a rush, find someone who has a comparable product. Hey, can't wait for the EG33. Quick question. Do you recommend lubricated fuel injector O-rings? If so, with what? Yes, if you are going to install injectors, lubricate up the O-rings. A lot of people use like super lube. If you don't have super lube, what I've done in the past is just take a small amount of engine oil, just lube up the O-ring, ploop it right in. Yeah, you might get a little bit of oil mixed in with the fuel upon a cold start, but after that it should be totally fine. So if you don't have any super lube laying around, obviously just a very, very tiny dab of engine oil should be enough lubricant to be able to push the injectors into the seat without damaging the O-rings. The Subaru STI, the gray one. The gray one will be back. We're just waiting on that motor situation to get resolved. When the 17 STI, when the EG33 comes back from out front is when the 17 STI is going to come back in the garage, and we're going to start working on that one again. So it's coming back. We're just waiting on this motor situation to be taken care of. Texas 2K this year. Want to see better on his 7's STIs. I will be watching that. I am not going, but I will be watching that. Woo! You're live. What's going on, Master Chief? If you can show me your wiring setup. Which wiring setup? Oh, for the dual fuel pumps. I have a video on it, dude. There's a video. I did this like a while ago. It's somewhere on the channel. I have no idea. It's in one of the videos. Working on the 17 STI. It shows all the wiring, how to wire everything up, where it all goes. Keep in mind that my wiring setup is going to be different than yours because I'm going to be running a standalone ECU. So not all of the wiring components are going to be the exact same. So just keep that in mind. And I'm late. It's all good. You here now. That's all that matters. You're only like 10 minutes late. You're only like 10 minutes late. We still got like an hour to go. Do you by chance know what a screaming like noise coming from the engine bay or under the car? Do you have like a bird or a cat in there or something? Like when you say screaming, I'm thinking of like a small animal somewhere stuck in there. WXSTI videos, you missed my comment. Did I? I don't see any. WXSTI videos, this is your first comment. This is literally the first comment that I just read of yours. There is nothing else in there. My boss bought his Bentley online. It had it trailered to our warehouse. Well, there you go. There you go. I don't know how much I personally trust buying like a performance modifiable vehicle online. It's already a toss-up when you go to look at one on like a dealership lot or like a private party sale. I don't know how much I'd actually trust buying one online. Would I recommend an AEM methanol kit since Nevada gas station doesn't have E85? Yes. More people than I initially thought run methanol, and it's a good substitute. Some people use it for just cooling. Some people use it as a fuel additive or fuel supplement. So yeah, if you're looking at one, it's a good kit to be looking at. Would you explain why cars make those beautiful pop sounds when we downshift for us news? It's just a little bit of excess fuel going in the exhaust. So, I mean, when you downshift or anything like that and your injector sprays a little bit too much fuel or your car might be running a little bit too rich, some of the unburnt gas will get pushed into the exhaust. It'll detonate in the turbo back system. You'll hear a bang, you'll hear a pop. Sometimes it'll make it all the way out to the end. You'll spit a little bit like a little baby flame or something like that. EG33. Woo! That's what I'm saying, Kevin. What up? Looking forward to the EG33. Just bought a 2005 SRT4 to daily drive to save miles on my 15 STI. Tell Matt to start his big turbo build on his SRT4. We actually got parts in for the SRT4 today. We got the Willwood big brake kit for the front. We have new hubs for it, new rear brakes, new brake lines, new bushings. There's a lot of parts for the SRT4 here. We need a lot more though. We need a lot more. But the SRT4 is coming. At some point it'll happen. Just bought a 2005 OBXT, replaced motor mounts and power steering pump. Planning on timing belt and water pump. What else might be a good idea to replace? I mean, if you're already going to be doing the timing belt, it might not be a bad idea to swap out the oil pump too, depending on what the mileage is on that 05. Since you're already going to have the timing covers off, you already have like all the timing components off, the oil pump's already right there, so you might as well just swap it out. Replace any gaskets or seals that might be on top of the engine that might be blown out or old. O-rings, exhaust manifold gaskets, intake manifold gaskets, anything in there that just might look like it's seen better days and could be a little bit crusty. So it doesn't hurt to go through there and swap those ones out also. Plus they're cheap. It adds up, but they're cheap. Out front or IAG and why? So that's a good question. If you're looking for, I'm gonna say it, but I don't mean it to come off sounding in a bad way. If you're looking for a cookie cutter short block or a cookie cutter long block, IAG definitely the way to go. If you're looking for something a little bit more custom, out front is going to be my suggestion there. You're going to see a little bit longer of a lead time with out front than you are over IAG because IAG clearly already stocks all of these engines. And if you order a custom one through IAG, they already have all the parts there. But if you go through out front, I mean, obviously they're a little bit smaller of a company. They specialize in, well, so does IAG. They also specialize in Subaru motors. But I'm going to stick with the original one. If you're looking for something cookie cutter, quick, and you need a short block or a long block, IAG. If you're looking for something a little bit more custom, out front. Just got a 2015 WRX CVT. Now I want to manual swap it. That's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. You're looking at like transmission, TC. I mean, if you want to do it, do it. Just a lot of work. Fox, WRXSTI videos. If it had a link in it, it shows sent, but it doesn't send. I have no WRXSTI videos. The only comment I have is you missed my comment, hand raise, like laughing emoji. That's the only one I got. That's the only one I got from you, my dude. Lens tent I can't say. Dude, that's like a tongue twister. I'm not even going to try. No, I'm late, but what's up? What's up, Omni? Thoughts on the FA24 and someone built an Ascent swapped FA20. So, FA24, expect the FA24 to have problems in the first, I don't know, 6 to 18 months of production when it comes out in the new STI. Yes, the FA24 and the Ascent is already in FA24 and it's already out on the market. And people are already modifying it. But the FA24 that's going to be in the STI is going to be a different setup than what comes in the Ascent. So with every Subaru iteration or change when it comes to motors and chassis, within the first year to year and a half, there's always going to be issues. If you look at every single time Subaru's done this, there have been issues. 2008, 2015, 2002 also, and 2004 if you want to count those ones. There's always been issues. 2004, the bearings on the hubs, the wheel bearings started to go out a little bit sooner than they should have. 2008, you had a lot of motor issues when they decided to swap over to the new chassis. 2015, you had issues with the pitch welds breaking. Some of the early model FA20s were having issues with bent rods a little bit quicker than some of the other ones were. You had the throwout bearing issue. FA24 in specific, it'll be a great engine after the bugs have been worked out of it, but just expect some issues with it in the first like 6 to 18 months. Type RA short block or IAG out front short block for 400 to 500 horsepower. At that point, if you're trying to go past 4 to 500, I would definitely get like an IAG or an out front over the stock RA short block. People have been making over 500 on the RA block, but we don't know at what degree of reliability wise that you're putting, or how much stress you're going to be putting on the motor. If it's going to be a long-term build that you plan on like wanting to beat on a little bit and actually play with the car, at that point I would get like IAG or out front over like a Type RA. Type RA is good for like 400 to like 450 from what we've seen, but I really wouldn't push it like far past that. Nth Level Entertainment. What up, dude? What up, what up, what up? Finally caught one of these. Been a minute. Well, welcome, my friend. Welcome to the stream, my dude. Any recommendations on good companies' turbo inlets? This is, love all the videos, man. Thank you for all the content. So, if you're looking for like a turbo inlet, the one thing that Perrin does make that I will still stand behind is their like 2.4 inch and 3 inch turbo inlets. I will still stand behind those ones because that is a good product that they make. I would just get like Perrin at that point. Honestly, the Cobb turbo inlets, they don't fit that well. I've used them in the past. Takes a decent amount of trimming. Even when you trim it, the fitment on them is still a little bit funky. Not a huge fan of the Cobb ones. I would get like Perrin at that point. Like that is one Perrin product that I will stand behind is their turbo inlets. Sergio, what up, my peeps? Holla at my boy Tana. What's going on, dude? Just got back from playing in the snow at empty Lowe's parking lot. Nice. We tried that and we got in trouble real quick, like within the first 30 seconds quick. Should I sell my VA, pay off what I owe, and after buy me an 06 in cash with build receipts? If you want to. I'm not going to tell you what to do with your money or what car to buy. But if it were me, I would build... Well, if it were me, I'd sell a VA. If I specifically wanted a GD chassis and I could only have one of them, I'd sell the VA, get a GD, but I'd buy a stock GD, build it myself. I'm just not a huge fan of buying other people's projects or built cars if I can avoid it. Like, I specifically enjoy working on the cars, going through, modifying them, just so I can say, hey, I went through here, I built this. This is the entire build list. I know every single part that's on this car. Personal preference, but if you feel comfortable buying one that's already been built with receipts, then by all means, just make sure you go through there, you do the proper procedures of check-in, make sure like compression's good, leak down test if it needs to be done, double check receipts to what's actually on the car. Just make sure you do your due diligence and make sure you're getting a good car. Hey man, what do you think about E30 tunes on the FA20 using stock fuel setup? Well, stock fuel setup on the FA20 is really just going to be like stock fuel pump, like a stock low pressure fuel pump. Just swap out the fuel pump. Like an AEM or like a DW is like $100. It's worth it. It's easy. Plus the stock ones weren't really designed for E85 since E85 is corrosive. Nothing will happen short term, but long term it could start deteriorating the fuel pump a little bit. Just spend the $100. Buy like a DW or an AEM. Where in Washington are you? I lived in downtown Seattle for a year. Loved it there. I am in like the Tacoma, Puyallup, Sumner, South Hill area, like in that general area. You're a cool dude. Thanks, Xander. You're a cool dude. Or yeah, you're a cool dude. I don't know who you are, but you're cool. person dude. You're cool too. Impressed with all of the work you get done out of what looks like a regular 2-car garage. It is a normal 2-car garage, and you'd be surprised what you can do in a normal 2-car garage when you really start shoving like tables in there and you really have no choice but to work on the car. You make do with the space you got. You can do a lot like your at-home garage. There's a lot of stuff that you can do in there. You guys don't need huge shops, lifts, or things like that to be able to do a lot of the stuff. Does it make it easier? Yeah, 100%, but working in a 2-car garage, it's cheaper. You don't got to pay rent for a shop somewhere, and it's still completely doable. Recently, Impulse bought a 90 Miata. Kind of jealous. All the original with really minor rust. Good to hear. Owner said something was wrong with the clutch. Turns out the slave just needed replacing. $2,000. You think I got a good deal? $2,000 for the whole car? I don't know the mileage on this Miata, but I mean, Miatas typically sell for like $3,000 to $5,000 from what I've seen. If you got one for like $2,000, 1990 with like decent miles on it, it's a pretty good deal. Plus with just a slave cylinder replacement, that's not bad. Not bad. Quick question: what should fuel duty percent be at idle for a bug-eye man? It should be like 33.33%. Fuel pump duty cycle works off of 3 intervals. So it'll be 33.3, 66.6, and 99.9 or 100%. Unless it's hardwired, then it's always going to be 100%. But at idle, you should see it around 33. Liam, 225K, by the way. What was the other comment right there? Okay, yeah, for the OBXT. Yeah, 225K, I would definitely do that oil pump as well while you're in there. Would you ever have a performance-oriented front-wheel drive car? I don't think so, to be honest. I'm just not a huge fan of front-wheel drive. It's like I like rear-wheel drive. I like all-wheel drive. I'm just not a huge fan of front-wheel drive. Maybe there's a car out there that might change my mind, but off the top of my head, no. There's just not a lot of front-wheel drive cars that there's none that come to mind, to be honest. Just got up here. What up, man? Ricky, what is going on, dude? What's the best turbo for stock block with E85 and the quickest spool? Christopher, what is the car? What is the car? I need to know that. Doing first E-tune in 2 weeks. Ooh, that is exciting. E-tunes are like really, I feel like people freak out about E-tunes when it goes to be like their first one. It's extremely simple. Extremely simple. You'll have fun doing it. I plan to put away my 2017 WRX 20K miles on it, so I'm looking for a good, cheap daily. Any recommendations? Just daily the WRX. Why would you not daily the WRX? You got good gas mileage. It's a spacious car, good visibility. It's fun to drive. It's all-wheel drive, so it's good in all weather. Why would you not daily that? But if you are looking for a daily, I would buy like a cheap Impreza or a cheap Forester. Is it normal to get a little bit of milky buildup on, the yellow frothy pea stuff, on your oil cap at the top of your dipstick after installing an AOS on a 2015 WRX? So, I mean, you might see a little bit for a little while. Even after installing that AOS, you still might see a little bit. So that white, frothy, yellowy, pea-looking stuff that, like, starts to build up on the bottom of the oil cap and sometimes in the dipstick is moisture that builds up and mixes with the oil vapor. And then it makes this weird, like, frothy stuff. Totally normal. If you see, like, obviously an excessive amount, then there's probably something wrong somewhere in the motor creating this issue. But yeah, totally normal to see a little bit of buildup on the bottom side of the oil cap and the dipstick. It's just moisture and oil vapor mixing, and then you get like that pea looking stuff. Any way to lower a 2015 to 2021 STI seats? Seats. Redware detaching the rear bolts and sitting. You could swap out the seat brackets. I've seen people do that to get a little bit lower mounting. I do agree with you that the 15 Plus, they do sit extremely high, like super high. So even when you try to like lower it down a little bit, the best way that I've seen people do that is just by swapping out seat brackets. I would try doing that. If not, I don't think there's really too much you can do without the stock or with the stock brackets. But the rear bolts and sitting and then lower, I don't see that working. I would just try swapping out seat brackets at that point. I felt like ripping around my mom's 2015 Forester XT. I'm going to get a Subaru one day. V6 Accord 6 manual transmission for now. That's still not a bad car. Also appreciate the dono, dude. Hopefully you had fun out in that Forester. What was it? The other day we went out when we had a little bit of snow kind of lingering around, and our buddy had a, what was it, the 2021 Outback XT with the FA24. Those newer ones are nuts. Nuts. But there's nothing wrong with it. V6 Accord, not a bad car for the time being, my friend. Following your first build with ProTune from Surgeline. Ooh, very nice. I will be down at Surgeline here soon. Chris is a very good tuner. He knows that platform very well, and that's a pretty solid build setup that you got going on there. Why are you going with a Precision over a Garrett for the EG build? Precisions only run oil and no coolant, so where are you getting the oil from the turbo? So where am I getting the oil from for the turbo? We'll put an oil feed line there. We'll tap into one of the oil galleys, and that'll feed the turbo. Oil drain will just have a drain coming off going back to the oil pan. The Precision turbos, the ones that I'm looking at, are a little bit cheaper than the Garretts. I'm trying to save money where I can doing this build. Obviously, I'm not cutting corners and going with a inferior product over another. But I have been looking at a couple of the Garretts, and the price that I'm seeing for the Garretts is a couple thousand more than what I could get one of the Precisions for. So, I mean, right now I'm not 100% set on a turbo for that engine. I just know the series or the size that I'm looking at. So when the time comes to actually buy the turbos, when I'll actually make a decision. But I have been looking at Garrett and Precision, but right now Precision is the one that I have my eye on. Have I ever thought about doing rally? Yes, and that is a very expensive sport because I know myself and I will break things. Your boy Bobby, not sure, but thought that was getting coolant into the oil. That was from what we talked about earlier. Hey Tanner, I don't see you running much MA performance parts. Is that wrong? If I have a weird vendetta against MA performance, the quality of the quality of the parts they build is good, but the customer service that I received last time I went to you're about to get me started on this whole MA performance tangent. Who's been here since the BRZ turbo build? Who watched that one and all the struggles that I went with MA performance? I about lost my mind with them. I will not order from MA Performance if I can avoid it. The customer service that I received the last time from them was complete and utter trash. I was told I was wrong. I was told they sent me parts that they never sent me. I was told they're not sending me parts that I had bought and ordered. Personal preference, I just don't like ordering parts from them. When it comes to the actual build quality of their in-house fabrication parts, it was very good. Very exceptional on parts that they actually manufactured. But the customer service aspect of it, no, not doing it again. Why don't you stand behind Perrin? I'm just curious. Because I've been screwed over too many times by the parts that they have. So the Perrin performance parts, customer service, hit or miss. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Fitment on their parts has seemed to start to degrade over time. The quality control of the parts that I've received in the past has been hit or miss. There were some bushings that I had bought from them. There's a brace that I've bought from. There's a whole bunch of stuff that I've bought from Perrin. Like 5 years ago, I absolutely loved Perrin Performance. Their quality control was on point. They made a lot of awesome products and parts. Now come to 2020, 2021, their main selling products seem to be fun colored shrouds. Not so much about performance anymore. It's just I'm not a huge fan of it. I've installed a couple of their front mount intercoolers on people's cars as well. Fitment was okay. Clamps were awful. It was like I will not recommend parts to you guys that I personally wouldn't buy, and there's just not a lot of Perrin performance parts that I would buy. MAP, not impressed. LOL, MAP. MAP and Perrin Sugar Tanner. You're not wrong. Oh, I forgot the BRZ was MA. Yeah, and I mean MA Performance. They make the quality of the parts that they built were spot on. They was absolutely beautiful with MA Performance. Just the customer service of it. I will not do that again. Any recommendations for tune shops in Washington? If you're looking to stay in Washington, you have a Subaru. The only one that I would actually suggest is, I believe English Racing is in Washington. They might be in Vancouver. If not, they're in Portland, but I would still suggest them. Up in Auburn, you've got In Front Automotive. If you want to go down south to the Portland area a little bit, you've got Surgeline, English Racing, and PRE, all very good shops also. If y'all want a good built short block, look at Batter does have a lot of good short blocks as well. Do you have any suggestions for oil coolers on an 09 WRX? Personally, if I was doing an oil cooler for an 09 WRX or any WRX or STI, I would just build one. Just buy a set wrap oil cooler core, buy some Vibrant AN line, and then just all the fittings. Just make your own. Also, Ravenchild, appreciate the dono, dude. I got to install my Agency Power Rally Wing on my 09 STI hatch day. Those wings look so good. Those are good looking wings. I remember Blacktop Aero used to make those a while ago before I don't think they went out of business. I think they just discontinued that product. But I mean, those ones incredibly awesome as well. Also, Plumber, appreciate the dono. What's the best cheap catback for a 15 plus STI? NVIDIA N1 single exit would probably be the cheapest and best one that I can think of that comes to mind. I think that one comes in at like $550-ish, somewhere in that range. Pretty good catback. I've used it on a lot of builds before, never had any issues with it. I had one of them where the welds broke, and NVIDIA was incredibly awesome with their customer service. They sent me an entire replacement catback for the part that broke. So I mean, MA performance. Jesus, you guys got me all triggered. NVIDIA. Good option. Your opinion, friend, for the money, should my 2016 WRX go E85 or built engine? I know that'll have to include a new clutch either way. Honestly, it depends on how much power you want to make. If you're looking to just make around like 400 wheel horsepower, I would send it with the stock engine and E85. Keep in mind your rods might not be the happiest later on, but if you want to play it safe, obviously get a built engine and then build on top of that as time progresses for the amount of power that you want to make. I mean, if it was me, I'd just send it on the stock engine. That's what I do. Yo, Tanner, did you check out the channel? Not yet, my friend. Just posted another video getting the head studs in the block and gave kind of an in-depth tutorial on how to set valve lash. Let me know what you think. I will check it out. No, I've been all day, like, making a pallet and packaging this EG33 to get it sent back out to Outfront tomorrow, but I'll check it out tonight when I'm like kicking it on the couch and like I watch. If you guys have YouTube channels, keep in mind that I go through every single night and I search like WRX STI videos and I try to find as many of your guys' videos as I can, and I watch them. Sometimes some of you have seen it. I comment on your guys' videos, I watch them. If you guys ever have videos, I definitely try to find them and I try to watch them. Yo man, your content is super helpful, appreciate it, Isaac. Keep doing you, my dude. I will keep doing me, my man. Washington local, I love that you emphasize the build biology of where you're located and how the car responds to the environment. Definitely, dude. Definitely, my man. Appreciate the support, dude. Appreciate the support. I just lost a contact behind my eye. Whoo! Woo! If you guys wear contacts, if anyone is blind as I am and you wear contacts, you ever lost one behind your eye? Ugh. Not a fan. Not a fan of losing a contact. Where did I just go? Drew, what's going on, dude? Sup, Tanner? Not much to say. Car stored. I see. Hopefully you get through the cancer surgery quickly, my man. Hopefully a better comment soon. Please let me know, Drew. Hopefully everything goes smoothly for you, my man. Hoping the best for you. Deezed Shark. I think I got that name right. Hey, let's say you bought a car, but you nor the previous owner have any information on the motor. Do you think it would be a better idea to do maintenance on that motor or buy a new one with receipts? I mean, if it's a good motor, I would compression test motor to start with, leak down test it, and go from there. If it's a good, healthy motor, go with that motor. If you're really curious, you can pop off the oil pan, look up inside of the block, see what rods are in it. If you really want to just save that motor, you can pop the heads off, replace the head gaskets, take a peek at what pistons you got as well. I would personally do that before just buying a whole new engine. Just coming from someone who spends a lot of money on cars and tries to save money where I can, that's probably what I would do. Long story short, my old mechanic didn't put the timing cover gasket on at all after damaging the first timing cover, which allowed gunk to seep onto the brand new OEM timing components, damaging them. Death. And alright, Death. As I respond to this one, I'm gonna keep my eye up on the live chat so that way I can see your response to this. Did you supply the parts to him, or did he supply the part, or did he buy the parts and do the parts themselves? Because that's going to be a huge factor. If you bought the parts and brought it to him to have him do all this work and it didn't even come with that gasket, then you can't really be mad at him for that. If he bought the parts and it's like a Subaru specialty shop, at that point I would raise some concern. But if it's just the timing components that are damaged, I really wouldn't pursue it. If the entire motor is just trashed at that point because timing was set wrong, or it bent valves and it smacked the piston or something like that, then yeah, at that point I would personally pursue some sort of resolution. I would talk to the mechanic or the shop first before bringing in any legal action. But if it's just a timing cover or timing components, I wouldn't stress that too much. But it kind of comes, he bought the parts from Subaru. Okay, so if he bought the parts from Subaru, I would get like some resolution. I would have him redo it again then if it like actually damaged the components to the point where they're not used, like you can't reuse them or they're not functioning properly. If it's just a seal in there and a timing cover, just call him, ask him, be like, hey, you did this job for me, you didn't put this gasket in there, it ended up destroying things. I would talk to the mechanic first, try to come up with some resolution if he's just being unreasonable or something like that, depending on how much it would cost to actually replace the parts that are damaged. Either cut your losses, buy them yourself, or if you really want to pursue like a civil suit, then you can do that. Motor is fine. Car is now in the best tuner shop up in upstate New York. If they're redoing all the work that he already did, then I would just try to get him to cover the bill for the replacement parts, if the parts are unusable, like I said. But that's kind of a kind of a hairy situation there. My 15WX sometimes cranks and doesn't start. Only happens sometimes. I know the spark plugs are good. Any ideas? Is it incredibly cold outside? What fuel type are you using? How many miles are on the car? There's a lot of factors in this one. If it's E85, then obviously it's going to be like a little bit difficult to crank on a cold start. If it's pump gas, it shouldn't like excessively be like wop, 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 and then start. It should just be like pretty quick with that one. Check coil packs if you're having a coil pack issue. If there's any cells or check engine lights that are popping up, it doesn't hurt to pull those and let me know what those are, because that will definitely help diagnose the issue. So my third gear synchro seems to be going out on my transmission. Grinds when shifting into third. Transmission needs to be rebuilt. Do you think an STI 6-speed would be too much trouble? Nth level entertainment. If I remember this correctly, you have like an 04 or an 05 WRX. I know it's a blob eye. If you're really wanting to do the 6-speed swap, you can. Just keep in mind you're going to have to do transmission, hubs, axles, rear diff, shifter linkage, obviously, clutch, flywheel. It depends on how much you're willing to spend to do the swap. If you don't mind spending the money, then it's definitely a good idea. And it's a good upgrade too. The STI 6-speed is a very good transmission. It's probably the best OEM transmission aside from like the CD009 that I've driven and played with before. And the CD009 is a pretty good transmission. Also, if you guys don't know what that is, it's a transmission of a 350Z. Very good trans as well. Tuners recommending one-step colder plugs, 255 liter per hour fuel pump, and EBCS before tune on car with bolt-ons on an 05 STI. Seems about right. Anything else you think I should? I don't know the full mod list, but it sounds like you have a fuel pump, electronic boost controller, with, I don't know what bolt-ons are. I don't know what bolt-ons you have. So, I mean, I can't tell if it seems right or not, but yeah, one-step colder plugs are a good idea. They are a good idea regardless if you're just getting a Pro Tune or you're just replacing your stock spark plugs on your stock tune. Thoughts on the Blausch 20G XTR versus 1.5 XTR? 1050 series injectors, by the way. Do you think the Blausch turbos at the price point actually have an advantage over the Cobb 20G 19 STI going external wastegate with stock headers? Yes, I do think the Blausch has probably the best stock location turbos I can think of on the market. I believe it was PRE who did the turbo shootout. Eric, the tuner down there, incredibly good tuner. He tuned Matt's Outback for him. But yes, the precision turbos, geez, dude, I'm all over the place tonight. The Blausch turbos seem to have the quickest spool response, and they pulled pretty good power out of them. So yes, if I was to go with like a Blausch over a Cobb, I would definitely get the Blausch over the Cobb. If you haven't seen it, I believe they have a YouTube video up or an article on the like turbo shootout they did. I would definitely go check that out as they compared a lot of turbos against each other. I daily my WRX, so much fun. See, that's what I'm saying. Shooting for 380 wheel horsepower. Yeah, honestly, if you're just shooting for like 380, the Cobb 20G would probably just be that'll be a just fine turbo for what you're shooting for if you're just shooting for 380. The Cobb, I think it's a little bit cheaper than the Blausch also. What do I think about Advan wheels, specifically Advan GTS Gold? They have a set in my local dealer for 4K. Your dealer stocks those? Advan GTS Gold. Hold up. Advan GTS Gold. Your dealer stocks Advan wheels? Let me go to your dealer. Well, they're all on GTRs. They seem to be a fairly popular GTR wheel. I like them. I have no quarrels against them. I don't know if I'd spend $4,000 on those wheels, but I do like these wheels. I will say that. Probably wouldn't spend $4,000 on them, though. Personal preference. For $4,000, there's a lot of wheels you can get. Where do you think I should stop for power level on my daily driver 18WX? I can't tell you where to stop because you're going to get bored of power at a certain level and you're going to want more. And then you're going to go to push the car more and you're going to want all the power. I can't tell you when enough power is enough. Do I think like 400 or 450 wheel horsepower is a good amount for a daily driver? Yeah. I'd say between that range. Res OP, what's up, my guy? Keep up the great work and always enjoy watching your videos. Appreciate it, my dude. So my question for you is on a Go Fast Bits hybrid blow-off valve on a stock ST. I really want the cool noises. I seen your video. So if you're looking, really seen your videos on the blow-off valve, still had to ask. No worries. So if you're looking for a hybrid blow-off valve, I would not get the Go Fast Bits. Go Fast Bits makes a lot of good stuff, but those hybrid blow-off valves tend to leak quite a bit. I think Turbo Smart makes a hybrid. If you really want a hybrid, get the Turbo Smart. Just keep it like 60-40. Just keep 60% of the air going back into the intake tract and like 40% venting to atmosphere, and you really shouldn't have any issues at all. But I would stay away from the Go Fast Bits one. They leak. Every single one I have seen leaks. They just leak. Goonies, thanks, man. Really appreciate it. I'm new to the Bug Eye. Congrats on the Bug Eye, dude. Love all the content, bro. And how often do you go live? We do 2 live streams per week, assuming everything always stays on track and on schedule, which some weeks I do miss, like Tuesdays, but the Friday ones always happen. But every live stream is always Tuesday and Friday. Around they start like around 6 to 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. They typically go for like an hour to an hour and a half, somewhere in that range. But 2 times a week at minimum. Jeffrey, thank you, Jeffrey. I've asked before. I think I have a head gasket issue. I've burped the system, let it sit overnight, took it for a drive around the neighborhood, 5 to 8 minutes. A few inches every time it kicks out. Bro, compression test. Do a compression test on the car. If you have low compression in 1 or 2 cylinders, then there's obviously an issue. If you do have low compression, leak down, test the car. It will pinpoint and tell you where the issue is and if you have a head gasket issue. If you don't want to go to the extent of actually compression testing and leak down testing the car, they make these weird little cylindrical tubes that you can stick like inside of the radiator area. It's got like a blue fluid in it with a little squeeze guy. You squeeze the guy and it pulls air up through the radiator. The CO2 and the carbon monoxide in the exhaust gases, if you do have a head gasket leak, will get into the coolant and it'll turn the fluid from blue to green, and that will identify if you have a head gasket failure. But if it were me, I would just compression test the car. So I sold my BRZ and got a 15WX about 7 months ago. I have an issue, though. I think I enjoyed my BRZ more, even in the snow. Help. I don't know if I should just get another BRZ or sharpen the WX. So I don't get me wrong. I miss my old BRZ also. My turbo BRZ, I absolutely miss that car. It was a very fun car, but the practicality for me of having that car just wasn't up to par. If you're wanting something that handles like on a dime, feels more sporty, is a little smaller, and has like a lot of mod potential, honestly, the BRZ is a very good way to go if you can sacrifice and you don't mind giving up some of the space in the car. Like, that was my issue for me, is what I needed to put stuff in my BRZ, and it just wouldn't fit. So if you are looking at doing that, I mean, you could go either way. You can definitely sharpen up the WRX, but it'll never feel like a BRZ. Especially a modified BRZ, you're just not going to come close in a comparison. I can't really tell you to get one over the other, but if it were me, I would love to get another BRZ FRS GT86 later down the road. But for only having like one daily driver car, I need a sedan. So I mean, that one's kind of up on you. That one's on your end. Also, Death, appreciate the dono, my friend. Appreciate the dono, my man. WXSTI, I am getting cylinder roughness 1 to 6 counts on all cylinders. No check engine light, should I worry? Already checked spark plugs and checked for leaks, found nothing wrong. If it were me, I would check plug gap. If it's on every single cylinder and you're getting 1 to 6 counts of feedback knock, check spark plug gap. If you just like opened up a new pack of spark plugs, threw them in there, you didn't check gap or you didn't adjust gap, that would be the first thing that comes to mind when thinking about it, is if you're getting a consistent misfire on all cylinders, is that the gap that you got out of the box maybe wasn't set right. But there's definitely something going on there, because you shouldn't be getting like 6 counts of feedback knock on every single cylinder. QQ is 4.2, negative 4.2 feedback knock, bad. Also, my dam didn't change, kept at 1. Negative 4.2, probably not bad depending on how much it changes. Negative 4.2, I wouldn't worry about at all, like Omi said. AC compressor or clutch. If you shift too hard, it'll throw off the knock sensor also. I'm about to get a WRX 2016-2018 for my first car. That is a good... You know what my first car was? I'm jealous. My first car was a 1988 Subaru XT. That thing was a turd. It had like 350,000 miles on it. I wish I would have gotten like a new one like that. Congrats on the first car, by the way. It's a very good first car to get. Should I worry about anything breaking frequently? The biggest issue between 2016 and 2018 that affected the WRXs is throwout bearing failure and pitch stop weld failure. The pitch stop weld is covered under a TSB from Subaru, so if that does happen to you, you can take the car back and it will get like corrected and fixed under their cost. For the most part, I believe they're still honoring all of those TSBs. If it's a throwout bearing failure issue, that one, unfortunately, they don't have any TSBs out for, so you're gonna have to pay for that one out of pocket. But aside from that, there's not really any other issues. Just got my Pro Tune on my 16 STI on E85. Ooh, I do miss E85. It's like buying a new car. Your videos inspired me and helped me install the parts myself. Love the channel. Hey, glad the videos helped, Ronald. And sounds like you got a fun car over there. I do miss E85. Crab Claws raise his hand. Well, what you got, Crab Claws? What you got, man? First time got negative 4.2, negatively, or but usually at negative 1.4. I mean, even if you guys are getting like negative 4.2, it's not the end of the world. You guys are gonna get feedback knock. It's totally normal. Every single engine gets feedback knock. Even if you can't physically see it on an access port, I promise you it's happening. Oh, see, here we go. I forgot the BRZ was modern performance. I got bored of my WRX, so I figured I'd wait for the new STI. If it's nice, and use my WRX as a down payment trade. Otherwise, I'll sell and get an 0405 STI. Yes, get the blob eye. Get the blob eye. Get the blob. LOL, MAP, and Perrin will trigger Tanner. I watched that build just after I sold mine. See, it was a sad day. I do miss that BRZ. I just wanted to say thank you. Bought my 12 STI 4 months ago. Congrats on the car, Shadow Slayer. And have learned so much from your videos. Love the content. Hey, glad I can share, my friend. Glad I can share. I made it. Jamie, welcome. Welcome. We made it. We are here. You've made it. Welcome. Welcome, Jamie. Jason, what's going on, dude? Hey, man. Love your work. Love your work. What are your thoughts on the 22 STI Laverg? If they made a Laverg for the United States, I would sell my 05 STI in a heartbeat to buy a Laverg. I love the Laverg. We don't get the Laverg. In 25 years, I'll import a Laverg. If we got them here in the United States, I would jump on one so quick. They're good-looking cars. They're good. They look good. I like them. MAP, not impressed. See? Now I feel guilty. LOL, I have some MAP and like 2 parent parts on my WRX. There's nothing to feel guilty about. What about Grimspeed? I like Grimspeed parts. The only Grimspeed part I advise people to stay away from is their air oil separator. Aside from that, Grimspeed makes killer parts. They make a lot of good stuff. Just their air oil separator, no go. No go. And that's the thing. A lot of companies don't like me for that, but it's whatever. Like, a lot of companies make good parts. Companies make bad parts. It's just what it is. It's just what it is. Yeah, parent turbo inlet in my car is fine. See? Parent one. No problem with the parent turbo inlets. How do you go about getting parts sponsored for your channel? Do you campaign for it or do they reach out? So, I mean, that's a good question. I'll be open and honest with you guys. To be honest, I haven't really reached out to companies to like sponsor or like supply parts for the channel or anything like that. A, I feel guilty about it. B, I don't mind just paying for my parts like everyone else does. But I have had companies reach out to me. Some companies I have worked with, like Killer Bee, every time Killer Bee sends something over, I'm more than happy to say Killer Bee supporting this video or they sent this part over. But I'm very picky with who reaches out to me about sending parts over. I've told 90% of, I'd say roughly 90% of companies that have reached out to me no. Just because if it's not a part that I would personally buy, I will not accept the part because I'm not going to push a part to you guys that I personally wouldn't spend my hard-earned money on because I wouldn't want any of you guys doing the same thing. So I'm not going to push any products just for like BS marketing for companies. But I mean, most of the time they reach out to me and it's only like 10% that I actually accept and like the other 90% is a no-go. Defined by definition. Woo! Raising the roof. A big hello from Australia. Well, what is going on, Lotes? Dom at Tier 1 in Spokane. Oh, I forgot Tier 1 was over in Spokane. Dom is a really good tuner. Dom's been tuning Subarus for a very long time. Very long time. I just saw the live chat. I love your passion for the Omni, Ben. I see what's coming up here soon. Just past 19. Just put 19 pound wheels. 19 inch or 19 pound? I'm guessing inch. 19 pound, 18 by 8.5. What? And noticeable loss of weight on all four corners. Recommend on the VAB. FYI only. Interesting, Jeffrey. I'm going to have to look into that. 18 by 9.5, 19 pound. I'm going to have to look into that. I'm curious. I'm curious on that. I've never heard of that brand wheel before. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. But Fast WRX does sell a lot of good stuff. Hey, Tanner. Just got my Cobb intake plus airbox installed on my Bug-Eye tonight. Ooh, loving those whoosh noises. Got my Cobb blow-off valve, I'm guessing bypass valve, on the way, and I'm installing the Cobb turbo back. Ooh, you got a lot of good parts going on, my dude. A lot of good parts. I'm all about it. I'm all about it. Ben, here we go. I knew it was kind of... Is this the Dodge Omni? We've made it to the Dodge Omni. A big decision that I just made. I will be getting the 1986 Dodge Omni Shelby GLHS with... All right, Ben, in honor of the random Mopars and American cars that you always throw out here, we're going to take a look at this thing. We're going to take a look at this. We're gonna take a peek. I don't even know what a Dodge Omni is, but we're going to take a peek. Taking a peek. I actually like it. What is this? This is an article? Oh no, this is 1986 Dodge Omni Shelby GLHS eBay find. Still looks brand new. That thing's kind of... I like it. I probably wouldn't buy one, but I like it. It's actually a pretty good looking car for an older one. Ben, I will commemorate and say that you have a passion for a lot of cars that I have never heard of and that I would probably never come across, but I actually like this one. I'm digging it. If you buy it, let me know. I'm curious. I'm definitely curious if you actually buy it. With 5-speed manual, economy with performance and practicality. I'm all about it. I like that thing. How's it going, man? I just replaced my valve cover gasket on the passenger side again with new seals and half moons. It's still smoking by the up pipe to the turbo area. Smells like rubber burning. Help. Oof. Did you put the sealant on the areas that tend to leak a little bit, or did you just pull off the old gasket, throw on a new one, and then just seal it back up? Brian, I'll keep an eye out in the live chat as you answer that one, just so we can circle back around to it. But make sure that you are putting sealant. I have to do the valve cover gaskets on that one out there, so when we go to get the heads back on, we get valve lash and everything set. I'll show you the specific areas where you want to make sure you have sealant, but I'm guessing it just probably didn't seal properly. Or contacts randomly get dry AF. That is also true. I get like a twitching eye sometimes. It's awful. Awful. William, love the videos, man. Appreciate it, dude. Just finished my first car, which is a 2005 RS build, almost. EJ257 with 2.0 heads, STI Turbski, STI Pink. She runs and drives now after 4 months and ready for the next car season. Ooh, it sounds like a fun build. That one sounds like a fun one. I've wanted a 2.5 or like a 2000. Oh, it's a 2005 RS. It's a blob eye. I don't see a lot of people swap those ones. Normally people just buy WRXs or STIs. But William, I think I've actually seen that one. I think I saw you post on like Facebook or something like that about that one. I'm pretty sure I saw someone like post about one similar, if not yours. He bought the parts from Stu. Okay, that was what we were talking about earlier. Cars like the Dodge Challenger and Ford Mustang and Chevy Camaro are practically useless unless... That's true. That's true, Ben. I'm all about that Omni. You got me sold on the Omni. You don't got to sell me anymore on the Omni. I'm about the Omni. I like the Omni. The Omni looks cool. I'd buy an Omni if I could afford an Omni. And if I could find a clean Omni like that Omni. I'm all about the Omni. So have you considered getting one of IAG's gorgeous clear timing covers? I've looked at them, but I really have no use for buying one. Like, there's nothing wrong with my OEM timing cover. It's not a part that needs to be replaced. There's also nothing really to look at that's pretty behind the timing covers. I mean, it's just a timing belt, some pulleys, and some stock cam gear. So, I mean, I haven't really needed or thought about getting one. My stock ones work fine. My stock ones work fine. They work fine. I'm probably going to get a WRX 2016. We talked about that one. If you had to buy a WRX STI between the years of 2011 to 2014, which one would you choose? Honestly, whatever one I could get for the best price and the lowest mileage, because there's not a lot of huge changes between those years unless you're looking for a specific color that was only offered in like 1 or 2 years. So, I mean, any year between 11 to 14. Hey man, just got here. Butterfly! My '07 has a lot of problems and I love... Hey man, just got here. My '07 has a lot of problems and I love it. Okay, I did read that right. Like that, but I'm moving soon and need better reliability. What year WRX STI would you recommend? If you're looking for one with like the utmost top tier reliability, 2017 and onward. You're going to have the best reliability just because they're not that old. They have relatively low miles. Some of them are still under warranty. They haven't all been totally beat on and abused at that point. So if you're looking for one that's fairly reliable, 2017 plus. My 2018 WRX does the same, not starting. I live at 9K feet, so it's very cold. Interesting. Well, hopefully that helps. Ben, and even something like the Subaru BRZ is unusable unless it's just you, or I totally agree with that. I could not fit a cardboard box in that car, which is pretty much the entire reason I sold it. Pretty much. Yeah, man, I'm only at 68 subs right now, but that's what I'm saying. You guys just gotta keep on grinding. I see you hit 40K. Congrats, man. Crazy how fast you blew up. Hey, thanks, Daniel. Yeah, it's the, like, if you don't genuinely enjoy making the YouTube videos, like, I've seen so many people burn out. Like, I am all about staying on track and schedule of doing an upload every other day. But for the first, like, 6 to 7 months I made videos, I mean, I was hanging out around, like, 250 subs. If I would have, like, been like, oh my gosh, no one's subscribing to the channel, no one's watching anything, then we would never be where we are today. You gotta keep grinding it out. If you genuinely enjoy it, it will come. Yo, the human carjack. I'm all about that username. Yo, love the channel. Did you used to be a Subaru tech? I did not. My background consists of product management, aerospace, UAS, aeronautics. I used to fly drones. And I worked at a Mazda lot in high school as a lot attendant, but that's about it. So, nope. I am not a previous Subaru technician. That is just not me. That is not me. Power-wise, how far should I send my 2005 Outback XT 5-speed manual? You got the manual, too. You got the good one. Honestly, that kind of depends on how far you're willing to push it. At 225,000 miles, I believe I have that one correct in the back of my head from when I read your last comment. And the overall motor health, I mean, you could send that thing like to the moon if you wanted to. Just keep in mind that like around 350 wheel horsepower is probably going to be the safe point. I'm planning to take my 2002 WRX to a dyno tuner soon. So, are there any unwritten rules or etiquette for taking my car into a tuner shop? No, not really. I mean, I have a video dedicated to like pre-dyno inspection just so you know what to really knock out and take care of before bringing your car to a dyno session. Sometimes you'll get turned away for some issues and they won't tune the car. But for the most part, no. I mean, there's not really any like secret sauce rules or anything like that. What's up, guys? I got a 92 WRX, which people say is the STI forged pistons, and so I don't know. I cannot confirm that one. I don't even know what engine that is. I think it's an EG33, I believe. Someone can correct me on that one, but I do not know. Eric is the man. That's down at PRE. Eric is the man. He's a really good tuner. Why are one-step colder plugs a good idea on a stock car? Honestly, confused stock benefits. Honestly, don't understand. Thanks in advance. Oddly happy with my 2019 Type RA engined STI. So the one-step colder plugs are generally going to be like NGK or Iridium 2309s. They just have a better heat range on them, so that way you're not burning up plugs quicker. You might get a little bit longer life out of them. You'll get a little bit better performance out of them as well. Typically, there's not a huge need to go to 2309s on stock motors, but you will still see a small benefit to a 2309 or a one-step colder plug than you would over like Subaru OEM plugs. Once you really start like turning up the boost a little bit more and you start making a little bit more power, at that point you are going to want to swap over to a better heat range plug or a one-step colder plug. But you can get away with using just OEM plugs just fine at the heat range that they're at, especially on a stock car. Let's hit the thumbs up button, people. See, Omni already on it, dude. He's out here patrolling. Death, thank you for all the advice. He has also damaged a set of wheels and cut the... Why would you keep going back? Don't go back to the mechanic if he's damaging stuff. There's some more to the story, too. Honestly, just don't go back to the mechanic. If it's not a huge detriment, I wouldn't even worry about it. Wolf, appreciate the dono, dude. My bad meant which would you choose from 2010 to 2014 WRX STI? Do not buy it. Personally, 2011, 2014 for GRs. If you're looking at buying one, the 08 to 10s are a little bit more prone to rod bearing failure. The 08s and the 09s being a little bit more. My 08 decided to have rod bearing failure. It was a grand old time. It was a fun time having to deal with that. But if it were me, anything between 2011 and 2014 is what I would get. 08 to 10, if you can, I would suggest getting out of that range and getting like an 11 to 14 if you can afford it. The 08 to 010s are typically going to be cheaper, and the price reflects that in the market. Just keep that in mind when you're going through there and buying them. The 11 to 14s just tend to be a little bit more reliable. Where did I just go? AJ! Oh, hi, AJ. Back on my question about power level and daily driven 18WX. I should have clarified on stock internal motor. 375, 400. It's probably where I'd push it to. That is where I would push it to. I wouldn't really push it past that. But people have mixed results. Your experience may vary. For the burping coolant, try to squeeze the lower radiator hose, and if it's cold, it's probably your thermostat not opening. I had this issue recently. There we go. Ricky, you see they are looking for a hood for the BRZ. I did see that. They don't like my upside down and backwards hood vents. It's unique. It's one of a kind. It's custom. Nobody out there has that same setup, and they just want to get rid of it. Just want to get rid of it. Only a little offended. Only a little offended. Austin, if you're watching this, I saw. Where did I just go? Hi, Tanner. Huge fan of yours. I just turned 18 and got myself a 2016 STI. Congrats on turning 18 and getting the STI, my friend. And plan to do some of the mods you've done to yours. What mods should I start with, and in what order? I'm new to the modding scene. So, if it were me, I would specifically start off, go through, replace any wear items that need to be replaced. Oil change, spark plugs, filters, anything like that. Once you get caught up on maintenance, transmission, rear differential also never hurt depending on the mileage of the car. Once you've gotten like all that done, get yourself an access port, and then at that point you can either make the decision of getting like an intake or a downpipe. You cannot get both with those the stock injector, stock fuel pump system in the car. If you want to do like an intake and a downpipe combo, you're going to have to do the fuel system a little bit at minimum, injectors, like a Cobb fuel pressure regulator, and like a DW65C, DW300C, or like an AEM 340 liter per hour fuel pump. If you're looking at suspension, coilovers, rear sway bar, aside from that, aesthetics, enjoy the car for a while. If you really want like a better driving feel, cartboy short shifter, stainless steel brake lines, pitch stop, all really good mods to give you a little bit better driver feedback. If you're looking at the reliability aspect of it, like an IAG air oil separator, cylinder 4 cooling mod, something along those lines, and you should be good for quite a while, my friend. Also, congrats on the car yet again. WRX Dom, cannot wait. Hopefully soon getting a J-pipe. We're going to be terrorizing the neighborhood. I am all about it. All about terrorizing the neighborhood. I'm going to buy an EG33. I think I can buy the engine and do the install build for around $1,200. I disagree with that price, but more power to you if you can. More power to you if you can. Just keep in mind, you're going to have to buy all the accessories that go with that motor. A lot of the parts for the EG33 are discontinued at this point, so they're either very expensive, very hard to find, or very beat up and used. You're going to have to do ECU. It's $1,200 is not a realistic budget, unless you're getting like an entire car, like an entire SVX for $1,200, and you're taking the SVX guts, swapping it into like whatever other chassis you're going to be putting it in. But I mean, it's gonna be different for everyone. Ryan, what's good? Brennan, thoughts on the Grimspeed catted downpipe for the 07 WRX? I'm running that exact downpipe on my 05 STI. It's a downpipe. It does the job of getting exhaust from the turbo to the back of the car. It's a good downpipe. It's a good downpipe. Hello, man. How are you feeling now that things are starting to work out? I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say we're in the clear yet. We still have to get the heads back for the 05 STI. We still have to get the EG33 back from California, which is my main concern, is getting it back here safe. But, you know, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm doing decent. I hope you're doing well as well, Anthony. I have an 09 WRX that is amazingly still stock and in good health. That is good to hear. Looking to make some reliable power as a daily. What's your turbo recommendation according to stock fitments for 2.5? Any ideas? Stock turbo location. You could do like a Cobb 20G, FP Blue. They have some like 16Gs and 18Gs out there that are pretty decent turbos as well, depending on like what your power goals are. But the Cobb 20G should be like a plenty good and affordable turbo for anything under 400 wheel horsepower. So that's probably what I would suggest getting, or the FP Blue if you can get that a little bit cheaper than the Cobb 20G. What's going on with the blob eye, mate? Waiting on the heads to come back from the machine shop. Tomorrow I gotta go drop off the valves so they can cut the new valve seats. The new valve guides are already in it. Heads are decked. The cam journals are cleaned up. So we should be getting the heads back here soon. Once the heads come back, we can start reassembling everything. Should I change my stock internals or buy a whole different block? That depends on how much power you're shooting for, my man. If you want to stay with an open deck design and you're shooting for like 450-ish wheel horsepower, then by all means you can just swap out your internals, put in some like forged or stronger internals and like send it from there. If you want a closed deck or semi-closed deck block, then by that point I would just buy a pre-built short block from like IAG or Outfront or something like that. Just makes a little bit more sense to do. I mean, or you could just have your motor closed decked, but typically the cost for that's going to be like $750 to $1,000. So I mean, you start adding up all the costs, it makes a little bit more sense just to buy one of like the cookie cutter engines that are just like dropping and ready to go. So many in Tokyo! Would love to have one. What's in Tokyo? The Omnis? Are we talking about the Dodge Omnis? Are we back to the Dodge Omni in Tokyo? Because I wouldn't mind having one. We get them. Aussie men need to move here. We need to go down to. Melanie and I talked about going down to Australia at some point in the future. It'd be fun. It'd be a fun trip to go down there. Vince at 4 more power ties back into the last question about like closed deck, open deck, semi. Kind of depends on what you're shooting for there. Should post more BRZ material. We know you're busy, but an update here and there wouldn't hurt. I don't have the BRZ anymore. I sold the BRZ. The BRZ got sold a while ago. The BRZ got sold in December. If I still had the BRZ, I'd still update on the BRZ, but I don't have the BRZ anymore, unfortunately. I do miss that car. The hard thing is to find a good WRX with low mileage for a good price in Canada. I don't know how much they go for in Canada. What are my thoughts on Devin Nemela selling his Evo 8? I'm a little annoyed because I was trying to buy that car off of him back in December, and I sent him an Instagram message offering to buy that car. No comment. No comment. What's the best AOS for the WRX? And do any of you know if the early phase 1 WRX is any different? My suggestion for WRX AOSs would be either IAG or Cobb. Cobb is just a rebranded IAG AOS. Who else makes a good one? Radium was okay. I installed the Radium one. I didn't like the return port on it. Crawford's pretty good. Had good success with Crawford in the past. Killer Bee makes a pretty good one as well. Solid AOSs. Edwin. Love the content. Subi Bro just wanted to ask, what would your first mods be for a Type RA exterior and performance-wise? Just curious, since I own an RA. Personally, if I owned an RA, the RA wing would come off of that car. I'm not a huge fan of the RA wing at all. I would probably go with like a wingless setup or like a stock STI wing, just for cosmetics. But aside from that, front lip, side skirts, performance-wise, I would probably do like basic bolt-ons with the motor, get an access port, coilovers. I'd probably do like Fortunato 500, something along those lines. Rear sway bar, and at that point, just kind of enjoy the car, do a little bit of drivetrain stuff here and there, swap out some bushings, swap out the short shifter, steering rack bushings as well, just to get a little bit heavier feedback in the steering wheel. But RAs are solid cars. I am extremely jealous of your carbon fiber roof. I'm going to say that right now. How much boost is the Blob Eye going to run? Thoughts on power? So the Blob Eye, after talking with Chris, it's probably going to be around like 25 to 26 PSI, somewhere in that range. And it should make around like 400 to 420 wheel horsepower on the safe side. If the motor is okay at like that 400 to 420 wheel horsepower range, we're going to push it up to like 450 and then cap it at 450. That's the cap point, is 450. I've officially lost my contact behind my eye now. I need to fish that thing out here soon. And I need to make dinner. I'm going to hop off, you guys. I'm hungry. I lost a contact behind my eye. We will do another live stream on Friday. Plus, we've been going for an hour and 10 minutes or so. So, if I did not get to you guys' questions, which I know I did not get to some of them because there's still a lot that I missed, swing by the live stream on Friday. Swing by the one on Friday, 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, just as they always are. And I appreciate all the donuts tonight as well. And your guys' time for swinging through the live streams. I always appreciate it. You guys come kick it, hang out, chill. I'm about to go either reheat up some old pizza or make some hamburger helper or something. I don't know. Balling on a budget, so let's see what I can make. But I'm going to jump off here. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a good rest of your guys' work week.